Larry Tenborder once again has made a rocket start, and it's Tenborder who's leading into turn one just for Ammermuller coming back on the outside. Dylan Pereira there looking, now Ammermuller's fighting back, and is Ammermuller into the lead with Dylan Pereira looking inside Larry Tenborder. The three of them are absolutely glued together up the hill into turn three. We have a three abreast cars coming round.
Yeah, now Julien Andlauer did the mega job, just overtook two guys. Now he's trying the side draft on 1040. And let's see if he can make it around the outside in turn four. I don't think so. Normally 1040 should go back to the front again, and he has to take care of Pereira as well. But yeah, great job.
I mean, this is exactly what you predicted. Yeah. What you predicted. This is what we knew we were going to see. And he's coming back at him again, isn't he? So Julien Andlauer looking very, very racy indeed. And the first four cars kind of breaking away slightly as we see some more jostling for position further back in the pack. But Mikael Ammermuller has already opened up a bit of a gap, hasn't he?
Yeah, quite a strong performance. And Julien Andlauer is really on the tail of 1040, so yeah, watch out, turn three in the next lap.
So as a Porsche driver, you're riding on board with Julien Andlauer just then. What have you got to do now? Where is your position to make that jump on Larry Tenborder?
Yeah, you just hold back a little bit in turn one, focus on a perfect exit.
It's going wide, exactly. It's going to the top, yeah.
That's perfect because Larry is going to have a bad exit now. Julien got a better exit. And he's already next to him. Yeah.
Great.
And I'm pretty sure Julien will make it for P2 now.
So, that's it. So the Lechmer Racing team are getting very punchy here after a fairly disappointing day yesterday. And now the number 3 car, Dylan Pereira, as Larry Tenborder goes really wide there into the corner. And coming back at Julien Andlauer. But did he exceed track limits then?
Yes, maybe he took a little bit of an advantage of going wide, but now it's going to be Julien Andlauer time, and Pereira. Pereira go through as well.
So this is the first time we've seen a chink in the Larry Tenborder armour this year. So P4, whoever thought that we could see him down that low? It's Mikael Ammermuller who is now leading this race, and the Lechmer Racing team are doing a fantastic job at the front here. We're looking back at the Dylan Pereira car, and we can just see how closely matched these cars are. So here we have a replay. Tell us, this is a replay, something different. So,
Jackson Evans got spun into turn 3.
And he's someone who's having a very disappointing weekend, isn't he, Jackson?
He's a Porsche Junior, but it's his first time here on the Red Bull Ring. So for him, it's seems to be pretty tough this weekend. A lot of track limits here.
Yeah, and we've just seen it there. Cars going over that yellow sausage curb. Is that's the track limit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And, but pretty strong result for the moment for Lechner. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Carrera looks strong behind Julien Andlauer.
Yeah.
But just coming back to the overtaking of Julien. I mean, he pushed Tenborder a little bit wide, opened the door for Pereira. So this was, I think he's going to get €5 extra from Walter Lechner after that.
was this planned?
It was a pretty smart move.
So what would be the approach amongst the Lechner drivers as we see Dylan Pereira taking a look on the inside of Julien Andlauer? I presume that they are to be a little less aggressive with each other than they might be with Tenborder.
I think so as well. Otherwise, they're going to have a word with Walter Lechner. Here we have him. After the race.
Serious.
Exactly. But as we said yesterday, maybe it's also a reason of tire pressures. Maybe Julien started a little lower, focusing on the end of the race, and Pereira and Ammermuller look pretty strong now for the beginning. So let's see.
We could see cars coming on as the race goes through, and we see that the car 99 receiving a drive-through penalty. That's Alex Arkin-Acker for a jump start. So did not see that on screen. So Alex Arkin-Acker receiving a drive-through penalty for that. So that's bad news for Alex Arkin-Acker, who is currently, just looking to see where he is. P15. So,
but pretty strong performance by Nicolas Schürrle, who's on the tail of Arca at the moment. He came from P23, and is now on P16. So yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, good progress.
Yeah.
And Jaap van Lagen, who's posting some purple sectors in sector 1 as well. We're just looking at our timing screen. So, it's Heinrich Skoog. So I'm looking at the line below. Heinrich Skoog, that's my dodgy eyes for you. Heinrich Skoog. Now, he was a driver who was very impressive yesterday as well. He's currently in P8. As we still looking back and just see how closely matched this is here. So we're looking back at, which car is that we're looking back at?
Nick Scholl.
Nick Scholl, yes.
Nick Scholl in front of Richard Wagner. I think Nick Scholl just got overtaken by Berkay Besler, also rookie driver. And so there we have 3 rookies fighting each other, Akin Aka, Berkay Besler and Nick Scholl. And now Richard Wagner is joining as well. But Akin Aka has to come in for
drive-through.
Exactly, for the drive-through. And we see Jackson Evans in the pits.
Yeah.
So it seems like race is over for him.
Yeah, and when a drive-through in the Porsche Carrera Cup is going to be a bit of a killer as well in terms of scoring points. Just looking at our leading rookie, Leon Kohler, is up in P6, so he's doing a great job, isn't he? I mean, he's well ahead of the other rookies, and Dylan Pereira, who is now lapping, you just pointed that out to me, who's in P3. Dylan Pereira, as we see Nicole Skoll making a move on the inside in the number 22 car. But Dylan Pereira is the fastest man on the track at the moment. He's lying in P3, and he clearly is not settling for that P3 and has eyes on the next position. It's 1-2-3 for Lechner Racing here at the Red Bull Ring on a Sunday afternoon, and we're looking down at a number of battles here. Riding on board with Luca Rettenbacher.
Yeah, we see that. It seems like Igor Valenko is just, it seems like he's not having the pace at the moment, and Leon Köhler and Luca Rettenbacher are all over him. And I mentioned it yesterday, 6 and 7, there's no place to overtake. We see it again. You can just overtake if somebody else makes a big mistake, but again, Rettenbacher and Köhler,
You see him making the move there on the outside. No, it doesn't make a stick. I'm guessing that on a track such as this, that you are able just to make your Porsche 911 very, very wide, as we see him locking the brakes, going up and behind him there. You can make your Porsche just very wide, even when you don't have the pace. You can still hold that position.
Yeah, and I mean for the guys behind him, that's pretty bad, because they just missed the rear of Larry 1040 and the guys in front of them. So they really have to go past him now. Otherwise, they're gone.
Yeah. And with the race now over 1/3 distance, and we see the number 77 car again of Leon Kohler taking a look on the outside of Evan Waliko. So now onto the inside. Talk us through what he's going to be doing now.
Yeah, he was using the side draft, which you have when you're really next to the car. Wow, now he lost 2 positions.
Good driving.
Yeah, Valenko opened the door quite a little bit too much for Köhler, and then Rettenbacher just went through as well. So really strong performance for the both teammates of the MSG team. So I think now they're going to move forward.
You say Waliko opened the door. Do you actually feel as though he succumbed to the pressure rather than just made a mistake?
Yeah, it was just, he's not having the pace at the moment. You see it immediately, the gap opens. Rettenbacher and Köhler, they can just move away.
And here we are again, looking back.
Yeah, Skok was really close on the tail of Rettenbacher.
Yeah,
touched him a little bit.
just a little.
Exactly. Exactly. Here you see he just opened the door again.
Yeah. And then they're through, and don't need a second invitation to get through there, do they?
No.
And we look back there on a replay of that. So with 7 of the 17 laps, we are in the most beautiful setting here at the Red Bull Ring, nestled in amongst the mountains, and it's Mikael Ammermuller who leads this race from Julian Andlauer, Dylan Pereira, and the runaway championship leader, Larry ten Voorde in P4. But just pointing out that the fastest man on the track is now Julian Andlauer, lapping in a 1:31.501. Which is marginally quicker than Mikael Ammermuller, who has the open track in front of him.
It's going to be quite interesting. Seems like Julien has the pace now. So yeah, I'm quite curious how it's going to be between Ammermüller and Andlauer, but I'm pretty sure he's going for the win.
Yeah, and as we've said already, when you're running for the same team, making serious contact is not an option.
Normally not, no. But both of these guys go for the championship, and they're here for winning the championship.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see some proper battles at the end of the race.
And we just saw from the on-screen graphic there that Rettenbacher closing in on Kohler, who is in 5th place. So both of those drivers are looking very, very good here this afternoon. And I think that the top 6 places are all really up for grabs here, aren't they? And really, having got past Ivan Barrico, those top 6 drivers are starting to kind of close up on each other a bit. So we see going up into turn 1. Up the hill, looking back at the impressive field of cars. The quickest man on the track is still Julian Andlauer in P2. He's putting in some very quick times, 3/10 quicker than Mikael Ammermüller on that last lap. So he's definitely signalling his intentions.
Yeah, now he's back 0.8 seconds. So that means now he's going to end up in the slipstream of Michael. And this will help him again to close the gap. So yeah, I think he's on a mission now.
And Dylan Pereira, although he is 1.3 seconds behind Andlauer, he has still got plans on that P2 place as well. As we carry on with this race, we look at the number 33 car, Stefan Redkopf, for Huber Racing. And he is currently down in 22nd place, having been passed by Sebastian Down. You see the cars just using all of the track, and once again you see those yellow sausages of the track limits as Carlos Rivas there on screen, and he is our leading AM driver down in P15.
Yeah, being P15 overall in a Carrera Cup race as an M driver, this is quite something. So
is that good, is it?
Yes. I mean, he's fighting with pro drivers around him, so pretty strong what he does, and quite a lot of margin to Stefan Redkopf, who's back in P22. So yeah, really strong by Carlos Rivas.
So I'm guessing that Carlos Rivas will be his intention would be to maybe look for a pro drive at a later stage by showing his true colours here in this race, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean he's showing that he can really fight with the pro drivers, and I mean all of these guys, they are like 40 plus, so that's pretty special. Started racing pretty late, so bronze rated. So yeah, being there and fighting with top professional drivers, that's quite something.
That's good to do. Yeah, we're riding on board there with Berke Besler, and you could just get an idea of what it looked like from his perspective on board that car. So we are over half distance already. This race is melting by, it has to be said. Lap 9 of 17 as we see the Carlos Rivas car that we were just talking about. Really impressive, and that's the car 17 of Lucas Oertel, who's parked up. And don't know what's happened there. Lucas Oertel, of course, he was the one that was involved in that incident yesterday, and you can see him just going straight on. Now that looks like he just overcooked it into the corner.
It looks like the front right was no pressure in there anymore. But now we see Julio Andlauer closing the gap to 0.4 seconds on Ammermüller. So he's quicker every lap, and as I mentioned, now he's in the slipstream. So now we're going to see some proper battles.
So this is going to be very, very interesting. We are watching this one very, very eagerly. And just while we do that, we're riding on board with Julian Andlauer, looking at the back of the Mikael Ammermüller car and just using everything he can to close that gap up. It says on our timing screens 0.4 of a second, but I think it's less than that now because that was when they passed the start-finish line last. And look at him coming into the corner here. What's he going to be thinking?
Now he was just thinking, oh, okay, it's yellow here.
Yes.
I cannot overtake here.
Yeah, got it.
Exactly. But now he's just preparing everything, just scanning Ammermüller where he's better, or where he's having a better corner or a better exit, so he can prepare overtaking maneuver, because I think he learned from yesterday. There he was a little bit too much in a rush,
Yes.
trying to get past 1040. If you look into his eyes, he seems pretty relaxed. So yeah, let's see what he does.
Right, well, here we go then, lining him up and just picking that moment. And as we said, not making that mistake he made yesterday. If you remember, he got two wheels onto the dirt and dropped like a stone. And you're pointing out...
Now it's going to be maybe
yes, 2/10. Yeah, sorry, we're just looking at the timing screens. And, oh, that's an interesting mix there. There was a little, the ghost of Burke Bursler. Yeah, so... As they cross the line, we see that there are another 2/10 he's taken out of it. That gap is getting ever closer. Surely it's only a matter of time before he makes the move.
Yeah, he's already trying to make Amamüller move to the inside, just to get a better exit. He's not moving at the moment. Let's see how it's going to be in the next lap. For turn 4, it's still yellow, I think. Is it? No yellow flag anymore.
No, that's the Lucas Hurtle car that had to be moved out of the way.
It's still yellow.
It is still yellow.
It, yeah.
This is a driver who can spot these things. I didn't see it yellow. So
we don't want to see it, but we have to see it.
Yes, we certainly don't. And poor old Lucas Hurtle, he was involved, the innocent bystander in that Jean-Baptiste Simonau crash yesterday, and received damage and had another race now that he's retired from. So a bad weekend for him, but a great weekend for the BWT Lechner racing team. The boss is looking slightly nervous as their cars are 1, 2 and 3 in this race, and 1 and 2 in particular. It was 2/10 separating them the last time around. We're going to have a look at the timing screens and see whether that has changed. It looks very, very similar as we see the Gustav Mallier car going slowly, and looks like he's able to power it out of harm's way, so hopefully not a safety car required. But the gap is down to 0.27, so that's not a lot in my reckoning, and you can see on the screen how close they are, and Michael Amamüller just needs to make the smallest mistake and Julian Andlauer is going to be through. And here he is again, looking to the inside, looking to the outside, on the hill, onto the inside.
Little lock up by Amamüller when going into the corner, and yeah, that's it.
So that was the mistake that we were waiting for. What was that? It just looked like debris flying up there. But the two cars running side by side, but it's Andlauer who has the inside line and takes the lead. So Julian Andlauer takes the lead from Michael Amamüller, who drops back into P2. Now it will be interesting to see what the gap is going to become between those two, whether Michael Amamüller can fight back, or whether he is going to fall into the clutches of Dylan Pereira, who is loitering in P3 and has had a relatively quiet race, but clearly is not content to settle for P3. We're looking on board here. Tell us again, what do you think Julian Andlauer was thinking?
Yeah, I mean, he was just happy that Michael just missed the apex a little bit, just locked the front right. You see a little bit of smoke coming out, and then he just put it in, and yeah, from there on he already knew, okay, I made it, because he was on the better line.
Yeah,
he just put it in, and I think then he was just hoping for not having a yellow flag into turn 4,
yes.
Because the lap before we had a yellow flag, but now we see already Andlauer, he can move away a little bit.
Yeah. He's got, and in fact, Dylan Pereira closing up. Do you think that lock-up from Amamüller was just something that comes to you looking more in the mirrors than at the track in front of you?
It's possible for sure, because he was staying on the normal racing line, which was quite risky because Andlauer was close enough to go to the inside.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he's going to the inside and was just a little bit confused.
Yeah.
And then he made this little mistake and Andlauer went past. And
But Julian Andlauer, although he has a 3/10 lead at the moment, he only needs to make a similar kind of mistake, and Michael Amamüller is going to be back. In the meantime, as you can see from your screens there, Dylan Pereira is rapidly joining the party, and he is about half a second, 6/10 or so behind Michael Amamüller. And Dylan Pereira looking the quicker of the two of them, it has to be said. A proper party for BWT Lechner Racing. Can they keep it as a 1, 2, 3 all the way to the checkered flag. Dylan Pereira has got his eyes on another position as he lines up Mikael Ammermuller for that P2 position. Julian Andlauer has now pulled out 0.677 over Mikael Ammermuller, and Dylan Pereira just 0.4 behind Mikael Ammermuller. So Pereira definitely looking like a man on the move.
Yeah, it's 3 laps to go. I think if Ammermuller stays without mistakes, he's going to stay in second position. But yeah, definitely Dylan Pereira will put pressure on him. And yeah, let's see.
And in the meantime, that man who has not finished below P2 this year, Larry ten Voorde, in a relatively lowly P4. And we haven't seen anything of him today. And he's just pretty well out on his own on the track at the moment. It's those top three. You see Larry ten Voorde there in the background, enjoying a fairly lonely race. And his run of P1s and P2s possibly coming to an end here, providing the BWT Lechner Racing trio can keep it all on the tarmac and keep it together. At the moment, Julian Andlauer looking very, very strong indeed. Not putting a wheel wrong, unlike yesterday, when we have a car again off the track, the number 10 car, Matthias Jezerik. Oh, and a bit of a tank slapper going on there. And he is one of our AM drivers down in 23rd place, and will have no doubt picked up a lot of gravel. We see what happened. He just outbraked himself.
He was pretty late,
yeah. That's again quite lucky. I'm presuming he's keeping the power on so that he doesn't get bogged down in the gravel. Because I imagine the moment you let it go too slow, you're just going to get beached, aren't you?
Exactly. He's trying just to get out of there as fast as possible.
He got airborne.
Sliding on back to the track. That's pretty risky to come back to the track like this.
And that's what we saw yesterday with Jean-Baptiste Simonal, because he spun, kept his foot on it, came back across the track, and caused that monumental accident, of course. So yes, a lively bit of off-roading there. Our fastest, our leading rookie is Leon Kohler. And look at this, going over those sausage curves. Sorry, just now that is, I would say that all of those are exceeding track limits, aren't they?
No, you are allowed to go on yellow, but not over yellow.
So not with all 4 wheels, just 2 wheels.
If you drop one wheel on the red, it's a track limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So they really are playing it close to the mark, though, aren't they? Yes, 5th place, P5, Leon Kohler. He's our leading rookie, and doing a fantastic job in P5 ahead of Luca Redenbacher. And Carlos Rivas in P15, our leading AM driver. Again, very, very spectacular. There you see our front 3, and they're broken clear of Larry ten Voorde in P4. It's Julian Andlauer who leads the way. He has 0.6, very, very nearly 0.7 over Mikael Ammermuller. Mikael Ammermuller has 0.7 over Dylan Pereira, so fairly even gaps between them. And you can see Mikael Ammermuller just locking a wheel going into that very difficult turn 1. And Dylan Pereira looking like he is winding himself up again for another attack on that P2 position. So we see him closing in there as 94 car of Janes Fitch comes into the Jan, that should be, shouldn't it? Jan Fitch, me and my dodgy pronunciation. He's clearly got a problem, so he's into the pits. He was in 25th position, and it looks like his afternoon is over. You can just see from his eyes that he's probably a little bit fed up to be stuck in the pit lane. He exits the car, and that's one less on track for the remainder of this race. We are on lap 16 of 17 here, and there's our leader coming over the hill. The hot sunshine. Has Dylan Pereira got anything left for Mikael Ammermuller, or is this the order they're going to finish in?
I think that's it. It's now we go into the last lap. You see Dylan Pereira fighting really, really hard to come closer, but Ammermuller found his rhythm again, and I think he's going to stay in P2. And yeah, it's good. Good afternoon for Lechner Racing. Also good afternoon for the championship.
Yes. because
just bringing these guys back a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. We're on to the final lap now. It's lap 17 of 17, and it's a 1-2-3 for BWT Lechner Racing. All they've got to do is keep it on the grey stuff and bring it home. And Dylan Carreras still working so hard to close in on Mikael Ammermuller, but not actually making any great strides into that P2 position. We're looking back from Julian Andlauer there, and we can just see that gap. We're on the final lap. He can pretty well sniff the champagne now. He is that close. And we're just into the second section of the track, coming into turn 6. And the cars are just well spaced out, and the BWT bosses at Lechner Racing getting ready for what will hopefully be quite a party in that team. There you see Julian Andlauer just coming through into the final sequence of corners, round turn 8 and in towards turn 9, under braking. Looking back at him there, looking back at Mikael Ammermuller, going quite wide out of that corner, but he's got it all well under control. He comes onto the home straight, he sees the check flag, and it is a win for Julian Andlauer, with Mikael Ammermuller in second, Dylan Pereira in P3, and Larry ten Voorde P4, with Leon Kohler. Brilliant drivers are leading rookie in P5 from Luca Redenbacher in the 92 car, who comes home in P6. So even Valiko, P7, and Henrik Skog in P8. A really good race there, and a proper display of total dominance from the BWT Lechner team, don't you think?
Yeah, I think compared to yesterday, where they had the pace but were just unlucky, and yeah, for them today is a perfect afternoon. And as I said, for the championship, this is really important. Congratulations to Julien. I think also yesterday he showed that he has the pace for the win.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did it today, so really, really nice.
And I'm guessing Jean-Baptiste Simoneau must be looking on at his compatriots with their 1-2-3 and just feeling immensely frustrated after yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. He was having the same weapon.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and lost it in turn 4 yesterday. Bad for him, because he was having a pretty good qualifying. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he'll learn from that and come back stronger, won't he?
And
and we will see him at the front of the grid, I have no doubt, soon. So, once again, silence descends on the Red Bull ring. There's your official result. Julian Andlauer taking the first of a 1-2-3 for BWT Lechner. Mikael Ammermuller, Dylan Pereira at the first 3. Then Larry ten Voorde, Leon Kohler, Luca Redenbacher, Igor Veliko, and Henrik Skog bringing out the top 8. Tony Wolff and Jaap van Lagen in 9th and 10th, followed by David Kolkman, Berke Besler, Sandro Kaibach, and Nicolas Skoll. Carlos Rivas did a great job coming home in P15 as our leading AM driver, with Louis Henkefend also doing pretty well to finish 16th from the back of the grid. Richard Wagner and Sebastian Daum, with Reese Barr, Stefan Retkop, Philip Sager, Georgi Donchev, Andrzej Szczepanski, and Matthias Jezerik bringing up the other places. You see the rest of the results there flashing up on your screen. Larry ten Voorde's championship lead will still be pretty immense, but they've closed it a little bit. There we go, 123 points, Larry ten Voorde. But Julian Andlauer with 77.5 points into P2. Dylan Pereira with 63 points, and Mikael Ammermuller in 4th. Henrik Skog in 5th place. And that's the rest of your places there of the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship.
Yeah, it's the first time that ten Voorde is not on the podium in this year, and it's 45.5 points between Andlauer and ten Voorde. And yeah, it seems like Lechner Racing was unbeatable today. Mikael Ammermuller looks not too happy. I think if you start on pole, if you lead the race for 10 laps and you don't win, that's normal.
And what's he saying? Yes.
He just said there was a little bit, Julio was having a little bit of better traction, and he said there was no point of fighting back. He was not having the pace to manage that, so he's okay with P2, but as you can see, he's not
okay with P2 at all, is he?
But he knows he's that professional. He knows that was the maximum he can do today.
Yeah.
So it was smart just to keep P2, and that's it.
Right.
They're discussing if he still wants to fight for the championship, but he explains that he wasn't planned for the full season.
Really?
He was planned to do the full season Super Cup, where he leads the championship, but he wasn't planned to do the full season, so he doesn't know if he will finish the full season, but yeah.
Great, thank you for that. That's really good to hear what was being said there. So we're just now waiting for the podium positions as we reflect on Julian Andlauer winning race 2 of the Porsche Carrera Cup, heading home a 1-2-3 for BWT Lechner Racing.
Yes, congratulations to him. I think the euro is in my pocket now.
Damn it! If only I had a euro on me. You take cards. So I think interviews are about to be done down there. We can see those 3 BWT Lechner cars there, and we look at this gorgeous track in the sunshine. Good, those sausages a bit of a sweet, why don't you? And we're getting ready. We've got lots of racing on here this weekend. It has been a fabulous weekend so far, and the Porsche Carrera Cup has been pretty spectacular from beginning to end. So we've really enjoyed watching and commentating on those this weekend. So we're just waiting now for the podium presentation and just reflecting on the BWT Lechner 1-2-3. Here's the boss.
He's just saying that, or they were asking if he's going to put a poster with the 3 pink drivers of the podium, and he just replied that he's going to give it to the sponsor, and he's going to ask for an increase of the sponsorship.
ever the businessman, eh?
Exactly. I mean, BWT is an Austrian company, so Lechner is an Austrian team, so for them it's, yeah.
So to get
it's
a 1-2-3
perfectly done.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just discussing if Michael Lammermüller will proceed the championship, and he just replied that in the next race is going to be in Bavaria, and Michael Lammermüller is a Bavarian guy, so he said for sure he's going to do that one.
Exactly. Stop it. Yeah.
And after that, they're going to think about it again. Yeah, he's a little bit complaining about yesterday that he wasn't too happy with his drivers yesterday, with the crash of Simenauer and the mistake of Andlauer, and I mean there was a lot of on the table yesterday for Lechner, and they haven't delivered at all.
Yeah.
And I mean that's why he said, or he thought, or he hoped that today they're gonna do better, and yeah, they did.
Do you think there might have been some serious conversations over the dinner table last night?
That's possible. Yes.
haben wir gedacht, letztes Mal nicht so voll geworden, schon letztes Mal nicht, weil sie immer so geschüttet da oben. Und jetzt wünsche ich ihm alles Gute, das ist ja auch Vatertag heute, Österreich zumindest. Und da möchte ich jetzt auch alle Kinder herzlich begrüßen. Alles klar, vielen Dank. Und so hast du gut gleich die ersten 3 auf dem Boden.
So, anything else interesting there, or was that just pleasantries?
It was just pleasantries. He was discussing who's going up to the podium representing BWT Lechner Racing. Yeah, and it's Father's Day today in Austria, so
Is it really?
he's saying hello to all fathers out there.
Wonderful. Well, as you can see, the Red Bull circuit looking glorious. It has been an absolute privilege to be here. Wonderful setting, a gorgeous circuit, lovely facilities. We've all been very welcomed by the locals as well. And it has been a truly great weekend so far. And the weather has not disappointed. I was here 5 weeks ago for another event and it got snowed off. The meeting got abandoned on the Sunday because of heavy snow. So 5 weeks can bring a lot of changes. We're knocking on the door of 30 degrees centigrade up here today. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good to be back here at the Red Bull Ring. It has been really, really good. We've still got lots of racing left here this afternoon, but that's it for the Porsche Carrera Cup, although we've still got the podium presentations to come, which we hope to be bringing you very, very shortly indeed. As you can see, it's a big crowd in here today. Many thousands of people have packed into this Red Bull Ring to enjoy the sunshine. So, we're now just waiting for the podium presentation. Just while we have a gap, I'm just going to say to Lars, thank you for joining us today, because yesterday and today it's been so good to have your insight into I mean, it's a whole different perspective to hear from a driver.
It was my first time doing it. It was a lot of fun together with you.
Great,
yeah,
thank you.
Now I wish everybody a lot of fun with the GT Masters race. I think it's going to be a great race again. And yeah, I'm gonna watch it from the grandstand, and yeah,
enjoy it. Yeah. And then of course you're racing yourself in the GT4 category later this afternoon.
Exactly. We have the last race of the weekend, yeah, we are pretty at the end, but yeah, we look forward to a nice race.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where are you starting from in that race?
I'm gonna start P5.
Not bad going.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I think especially in the afternoon conditions with the hot weather, it's going to be pretty tough for us in our little Porsche, fighting with the big cars. But yeah, I'm looking forward. It's always nice to race at the Red Bull Ring. Yeah. And yeah, let's see.
We'll look forward to seeing it, and we will be cheering from the sides. Right, so our attention is back onto this now. I think we've just about got some drivers together. There's an awful lot of talking going on. Right, here we go then. These are our 1, 2, 3. You'll have to tell me which one's which. I'd recognise one of them.
It's Julian. Yeah. Julian Lauer on the left.
On the left.
In the middle, it's Dylan Pereira, and on the right, it's Meklam Amamiller.
I might show you my inexperience here. I recognise the cars.
And the suits are pretty pink.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? That's looking good in pink. Distinctive and very recognisable around the Porsche Carrera Cup and the ADAC series. Lots of pink cars. So, some serious faces there.
Yeah, we see Herman Tomczyk, the director of ADAC, Huray Isiak, who's leading the Porsche Carrera Cup. So all the official people up there, and just waiting for the podium ceremony.
Yeah. Which should be getting underway very shortly.
We see our friend Philip Sager, who performed pretty well on the podium yesterday, on our left.
Yes. So, here we go then. Is this it? The tension is killing us. The sun is shining here at the Red Bull Ring, and we're eager to see the champagne spraying. So, someone said something very funny there, so lots of laughter.
Yeah, still the Burkhard Bechtel is just moderating over there. But he's not finding the point at the moment. It's
looking very hot. It's quite a workout to drive that race, I imagine. Right, hats on, here we go. Let's get you out on the podium, chaps. Ray, and we're off, here we go. There's our winner, Julien and Lauer. And then Mikael Lammermuller and Dylan Pereira. A 1, 2, 3.
What a picture.
An all-pink podium. Gosh, that's a truly successful home race. That makes up for yesterday a little bit, doesn't it?
Here's the French flag.
Okay, it's time for the national anthem. National anthem done.
Pretty short version.
Yeah, we're running short of time. And now the trophy presentation. And this is the ADAC president, Herman Tomczyk. He must be very happy with the events of this weekend here as he presents the trophy to Julian Andlauer. And Jürgen Fabry, also from the ADC, presenting to Mikael Lammermuller. And to Dylan Pereira, Huri Isaac from Porsche Carrera Cup, presenting the trophies. And post for they did the photographs after the champagne yesterday. There we go.
He doesn't want to go out. They're just saying he's part of the Lechner racing team since 44 years.
Wow.
So this is, that's pretty special in motorsport.
That is pretty special in any kind of discipline in life. So the four of them there, that is a very Lechner-looking photo, isn't it?
Yep.
Have we seen a 1, 2, 3 from Lechner racing like that in recent times?
I don't think so. That's pretty special.
That's going to be victimization. I should think that photo is going to be used on publicity shots for a long time to come by BWT Lechner.
There's nothing better for that.
Yeah, I mean...
Home race, 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely brilliant. It's just a shame that Simonow couldn't have been in it as well and made it a 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. But
you wouldn't see him.
So, soaked in champagne. And someone wants the bottle. Nah. It's hot work down there. It must be such a relief for them. Do you know who that man is?
I don't know.
Oh, wonderful. Did any of it go in his mouth? I don't think so.
It's going to be a long night for these guys.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, no, don't hold much hope out of getting any conversations out of them tomorrow morning. In the eyes, yeah, you had that one coming, mate. Great. Well, it's been a wonderful race. We've really enjoyed that. And both races this weekend, I think the Porsche Carrera Cup put on a really solid display. It was Thomas Preining who dominated this very event last year.
Yep.
This year, we've had two different winners. Whiz, that is good news, isn't it? Larry Tenborny yesterday, and today it was Julian Andlauer. And boy, did he demonstrate a real turn of speed here. So we look at some of the highlights from this race. So there's just a few shots from what was a great morning of racing So we're now looking back at the podium. Talk us through this one, please, Lars.
Yeah, exactly. We see Carlo Rivas, Stefan Rehkopf, and Philipp Sager on the podium for the Amateur Championship. And we listen to the anthem of Luxembourg.
That's it. We were just laughing at P3 on the podium. Brilliant. What characters? Oh dear. I can see them all laughing in the commentary booth next door as well. So there he goes, Carlos Rivas collecting his trophy. Brilliant. Trophy's been presented to the 1, 2, 3 in the Rookie Championship, and good to have some entertainment.
Yes, the Amateur Championship. I mean, it's pretty...
Sorry.
Exactly, as I said, it's pretty strong. It's pretty something to go into a championship like the Carrera Cup as an amateur, and because you know where you're going to find yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Brave guys. And Carlos Rivas finishing P15, that's pretty strong for an amateur like him. So,
and we will be watching him with great interest for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You can hear the roar in the background as the ADAC GT Masters cars line up for their second race of the weekend. But as far as the Porsche Carrera Cup goes, it's our time to say goodbye. I just want to say a massive thank you again to Lars Kern for coming in and being the second voice and the fountain of all knowledge, it has to be said here. Really appreciated, giving us great insight, and good luck with the GT4 this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a lot of fun with the race at GT Masters, and yeah, see you next time.
Brilliant, thank you. And thank you to everyone for watching us. We'll see you next time. Take care.